Welcome to Philly Coco Presents Side Project Spotlight, episode 115. It's a developer's journey into making cool stuff. I'm Kotaro.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Aaron.
And we are Philly Coco, a Philadelphia-based Coco Heads community focused on Apple development that primarily, but not exclusively, means iOS, Mac, tvOS, watchOS, and visionOS development. Philly Coco's true desire is to take you higher on your own developer journey. Woo! I mean, is a developer still a thing anymore? I mean, now that everybody and their grandmom are vibe coding their own special apps.
LLM babysitters now or something. We need a new name.
Token maxers.
No, that's so like a week ago. There's no more token maxing because it got too expensive. So now it's like, I don't know.
Token dieters.
Dieters.
People on token diets.
Token minimizers. I don't know.
Token budgeters.
I don't know. The minimum number of tokens you could use is 0 by hand coding stuff, but
who hand codes it? I mean, why don't we knit an entire factory of sweaters? Okay, like, come on now.
Well, maybe you want to be part of the permanent underclass, right?
Well, I mean, yes, you could die being poor by crafting a beautifully, wonderfully designed, high performant, bespoke, wonderful piece of software. That everybody loves and, nobody hates and looks at you with disgust when they find out you vibe coded it. Why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
Why would you want to spend a year? You could just bang it out in a day. You just have to pay $1,000, maybe $2,000, maybe $3,000.
I know. It's the
depends on which model you're picking, right? I mean, I haven't. I've heard there's some fable out there, some mythical fable that people talk about.
Fable. Yeah.
Wow, I am really on with these puns.
5.6 soul. But by the way, I see all these AI bros online. And they always talk about running these super expensive models in like extra high and stuff. And I don't get it because that's not necessarily better in my experience to run these things at the highest quote unquote reasoning level. God, I hate the terminology because it just generates more tokens before it tries to give you an answer. And then sometimes that makes the answer worse in different ways, like it's over engineering something, or it also just takes longer and then spends more money. Sometimes I get the best results going way down there, like do like the minimum amount of reasoning or use a mini model or something, and it just works. It depends on the thing you're working on, and I guess it is difficult to know in advance what settings would work for whatever you're doing. But I just see these people, I'm like, you're like, I run extra high. That's like you got to do that. You got to run it on extra high all the time. Like, what? I've never run anything on extra high.
Wait, I'm sorry. So there's minimum, there's medium, there's high, and now I didn't know there was an extra high.
For GPT, it used to be called low, and now it looks like it's called light. And then there's like medium, a high, extra high, and maybe there's something even more than that coming up. I don't know. I think Claude has an ultra. What?
Infinite.
I mean, actually,
just loop. Just
they have a goal mode. They have a goal mode now. You can just say, here's a goal to accomplish, and it'll just keep going until, I guess, you run out of money or it accomplishes it. So that's infinity mode, I guess.
Does it care? Wait, so I do understand you can cap it, but like, does anybody reasonably cap what their expenditure, or do they even bother?
The people that I see on the internet don't seem to. In real life, absolutely, increasingly so. I think. I mean, it's getting awful expensive.
These guys work in the millions. I mean, we're working in thousands here, barely, maybe even hundreds. Maybe
my favorite,
maybe sub 100.
That's true. I'm still trying to keep it about $20 a month. My favorite AI bro token maxing post is from the employees of like OpenAI or like Anthropic, and like the people who have unlimited amounts of budget, or was it like Peter? I think he does that. The guy who did Steinberg, where I think I've seen posts from him where has this obscene like $1 million or something usage of tokens. Like,
well, the beauty is he doesn't have to pay for it, right?
Well, right. Like, that's what the point. And so you got to take whatever they're doing with giant grains of salt. Because even if it worked, which I'm very skeptical that the things they say you should do make sense or should work or actually work. But even if it does, even if it absolutely would work for you, you probably can't afford it. Which, But, this does, to be fair, this is exactly what Steve Yegi said was going to happen, that people were going to, I mean, he said it like, he seemed like to say it was kind of like an inevitable success.
For the people who are not in the I don't know, developer space, who is Steve Yegi?
Steve Yegi is a really well-known developer. Worked at a bunch of places, but most recently I'm talking about he did Gastown early in the year.
That's Steve Yegi.
Yeah.
We're quite familiar with Gastown.
Yeah, Gastown. So, but his idea was it's going to be very expensive. Firms are going to need to, they're going to create software factories, and then it's going to be very, very expensive to do this. And that's, and in the economics way, he's right about that. I'm still not sold on the idea of a software factory making a lot of sense for a lot of things, like the way that he had it portrayed in his original document. I don't know what his thoughts are now currently about it. But he was right about it requiring lots and lots of tokens and being very, very expensive. I mean, at the time, his first blog post about Gastown was explicitly said, "Don't do it if you don't have a lot of money to burn. So don't even try it."
He like at the time, this was the one it was subsidized too. Like at the time, it was like $20,000 or something of that range to do the thing that he was doing. Like
he was using like multiple $200 Claude subscription. Yeah, right. I mean, and the estimates for what the subsidy level is, they range. But I've seen the latest ones I saw had OpenAI being the most generous at around estimated like $14,000 or something for the $200 subscription. So no one knows exact numbers, but you get a lot for $200. But even then, not enough for Gastown or for the But anyway, the point is he's right about it being getting more expensive, and it's we're like speed running the expensive we're speed running the price increases here. So I do think most people are suddenly in the last month or so like price conscious, because I've always been price conscious, but because I don't want to spend $200 even myself, I can avoid it.
Well, it's funny because
cheap.
Right, but in our case, right, like we sort of go, well, we don't necessarily have to lean on this. I mean, we're not that far removed from actually being able to do this by hand. So
yeah,
if push came to shove,
we get farther away. Every day our skills atrophy more.
Just get to speak for yourself, man.
Every new iOS update where we just let the robot read the docs and implement the SDK chain.
I mean, it does produce some great stuff. I'm not gonna lie, but
I have been thinking, and I mentioned this before. I think that as a profession, someone who wants to maintain your skills, you probably do need to write code by hand at least some of the time. Just like you need to exercise, because we live sedentary lives in the Western world here. In your office jobs, you need to go to the gym or work out or run or do something like that on a regular basis. We probably need to start doing that for our jobs, our software jobs.
Yeah, and gotta work out the muscle, the muscle, only muscle that really matters.
Yeah, because
top in the head here.
I still don't see any evidence that you don't need to know how to code in order to use these things effectively. I mean,
even still, I always feel like there is something similar to like by doing it a little more by hand. There's a little bit of ownership and there's a little bit of
yeah,
I don't know. Companies don't give a crap about this, but a
lot of companies don't. Yeah, but to me, I think I've said before, I think programming is akin to writing, off in some ways. It's not completely the same, but I'm not the only person to think this. I believe Perl was written around the idea of it's being highly influenced by human languages, but the act of writing something, just like writing an essay, is different cognitively than like having an LLM spit out an essay based on your rambling to it or something.
Right.
And versus even reading code or reading prose, it's different. And I do think you need to actually type it in, by hand in order to learn it. Like that's the only way I was able to learn a lot of the weird syntax changes to Swift and Swift UI when I migrated to that. If I just had an LM at the time, I don't know if would I have as firm a mental model of how a lot of those APIs work.
I think what you should be doing is you should be carrying a journal book with you, and you should really write that code by hand.
Yeah. When I was a kid, actually, that was a thing. I used to read.
That is a thing.
I used to read the 2600 magazine. I don't know if it's still published as a zine or anything, but they used to print source code in there. And there were some other books way back in the day used to print source code, and then you would type it in by hand if you wanted to run it.
Because we didn't have a phone with a camera on it, so we couldn't take a photo of it.
Yeah.
And bring it home and have that photo be was it text recognition, so you can copy and paste.
Yeah, I didn't have the internet either when I was a real kid. So if there was any source code in a book or something, you had to type it in by hand, like a basic program or something, and then run it. So yeah, I used to have. I do distinctly remember writing down C code or something. I remember this, writing it on paper. because I didn't have a laptop or anything. Because that was also new back in the day. Because we're old people. We're old. If you're listening and you don't know what it means to write down source code by hand on paper.
Speaking of laptops, I've heard from the grapevine that somebody's got a new laptop and decided to get it in the Rampocalypse.
God,
in the midst of the Rampocalypse.
Okay. Yes, I spent a whole bunch of money. I'm not really happy about it, but I felt like I was backed into a corner, and I got an M5.
Who backed you in this corner?
I guess that means you're not getting your new monitor.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I was thinking that. I'm like, so your
studio display is getting like your XDR display is going further and further down the
you know what? It might
list.
It might be a BenQ monitor then, because they're
now you're ready for the XDR, right?
I am actually. I'll tell you about what I had to spend money on, because it's never just one thing when you upgrade after 4 or 5 years. So here's the thing. I was gonna jump on the M5 Max generation, and then I was like, oh, well, I'll wait for the rumored updated new chassis design stuff. And then Apple was like, nah, we're going to upgrade price. We're going to up prices because of the Rampocalypse. And this literally happened the same time Amazon Prime Day was happening. And so this is what happened. Suddenly, Amazon was selling MacBook Pros in decent configurations for hundreds and hundreds of dollars less than Apple was at the same exact time. And I was like, there does not seem to be any chance that these computers are going to get any cheaper, and that redesigned one is going to be any cheaper than this. It's probably going to be more expensive or have some other thing. And it's like, mostly just sits on my desk, and I care about the processor and stuff right now more than everything else. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should just do it. Because here's the price differential, guys. The Amazon was selling this laptop for $850 less than Apple was at the same time.
I'm sorry, how much?
$850 less. Because of the
it
price
was on sale and plus on sale from the old price.
Yeah, it was on sale for like $250 less or something than the old price, and then Apple's new price plus that. So now it might still be on sale, but it went up like $200 or something from the Prime Day sale to $250. But here's the thing: when it was with the maximum sale it was on, Apple's prices went up so high. I think people maybe don't realize it. If you didn't go into and configure a laptop, if you added anything to it went up and crazy. Like, this is a 48 gig RAM. I wanted a 64, but the 64, when I looked at it, was more than $1,000 more expensive than this was. And for everything else being the same, everything else was the same except for 16 gigs more RAM was like $1,000 more expensive. And Amazon didn't have it on sale. They didn't have that one on sale. So this was the highest configuration I could find that was on sale for this. And I was like, these things are so expensive that. And they were already more expensive when they came out than they were the last generation, or 2 generations ago or something. So I was like, okay. So I bit the bullet and got the thing, and it is really nice. It is actually helping me out. I'm still setting it up, but biggest thing I've noticed, I mean, it is just real snappy compared to the M1 even, and the Lightroom. It's stuff that has quote unquote AI features in it, like Lightroom does. Okay. It does actually seem to be faster. Like, it is faster. Like, by multiple seconds being shaved off each time I have to, denoise a photo or something, which adds up because it was taking literally 10 seconds per photo before, and now it's taking like 3 to 5, I think. So it's like a big speed up. Right. It's taking only a few seconds, and so fast that I'm not even noticing it sometimes. Like before I was like noticing it as I was waiting and waiting because I couldn't do anything until it was done. Mm-hmm. So that kind of thing is nice. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. It's just a different color, the darker color. Everything else is obviously, I haven't changed anything else about the computer. And has 2 terabytes of storage, which is I wanted, but I didn't have a choice anyway because Apple, again, that's how they were hiding some of the price increase earlier in the year. So I got that. But then you're right, Aaron. I'm ready now for the XDR display. Except I wasn't at first because I had to get a new dock too, because I need to get a Thunderbolt 5 dock to replace my Thunderbolt 3 dock. And even then, Aaron, I'm not actually 100% sure that an XDR display will run at 120 hertz through the dock. It's not clear to me. I don't know if it will. But I had to get a Thunderbolt 5 dock, which is like 30% bigger or something than the old one. But it's the exact same dock I had before, essentially. It's almost exactly the same, except just bigger, and it was like expensive. So I had to buy that too. And then I was like, well, maybe I should just get a display. But then I was like, no, I'm out of money now. I was on a cruise, and then I was this, and now I'm out of money. So
So you chose the Cruise over an XDR display.
For now. I mean, money comes. I'm not unemployed yet. The robots haven't taken my job, so I'll have more money eventually. The XDR display is so expensive, though. Maybe a BenQ display is in my future or something. But yeah, I got it. It is quick. I will probably try to run a few local models for fun, but I don't believe local models are anywhere close to being useful for a lot of serious programming or anything like that, because you just need so much RAM at minimum to run the actual, like GLM. We could talk about GLM like 5.2. They came out, like you can't run the for real version of that model in anything you have at your house. So
how much RAM would you realistically need to run that model?
Hundreds of gigs for the larger, maybe even more for the largest. For the one that's actually running on the inference servers in the cloud, like you need hundreds of gigs. So, like, it's just not really going to happen. But, for local stuff, the 5 chips do improve aspects of local model performance.
Okay.
Specifically, I think it's like the time to, like, load things or whatever. Like, if you do something like process a PDF, it's supposed to be a lot faster, that kind of task. So I think for small models that are more dedicated to a specific task, which I do think is more the future for most people, doing most things on your computer, and Apple's well positioned for that if they can ever afford RAM again. I'll try that out more on this, because the M1 Max was dog slow even like a year ago on the models, so it was pretty. And this has some kind of accelerator in the GPUs, so I'll do that, and it's useful for the photography stuff, but it's a lot of money.
That's an interesting point. I was about to ask if you're going to install Golden Gate and then put yourself on the Siri AI waitlist so that you can get access to said local model. But that probably is not a good idea if you're still using Lightroom, which is Adobe, which is notorious for being like...
God, Lightroom was so slow. I don't think I couldn't upgrade to Tahoe for so many months because I was waiting for Lightroom. Yeah. So I'm debating which computer to put it on. Like right now, this is Tahoe, and I started updating it, but I haven't gone too far, and I have the M1 still. I could upgrade one of them, or what I could do, because I do have space, because I haven't filled it up yet, because it's a 2 terabyte drive. I have enough space to make a volume and just dual boot into Golden Gate and share my files between the two, partitions, whatever you call them, volumes.
Yeah,
so
you really, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
Well, that's not dangerous, because then you literally dual boot, and then you can just, delete.
Look, man, or you can just be like me and just YOLO and just install the betas. No. Install the betas on all your devices, okay, including your carry-on device.
No, let's not do that.
Like I'm running the beta right now. This Mac beta, Golden Gate, while we're recording. So you can if anything goes wrong with my feed, it's not my fault, okay?
No. Well,
it's obviously not my fault.
I was trying to install the latest 27 beta, was it 3?
Yeah.
On my iPhone 14 Pro Max, because I'm not a crazy person who puts it on my carry phone, and I freaking bricked the phone today. I had to get it into DFU mode or whatever, which actually took some effort. It's like the button presses are weird, and
the problem is you didn't put it on your daily device.
Yeah, that's why. No, what happened was it was doing an upgrade normally, but then it just sat at the Apple logo with a progress bar looking like 100% for hours. And it wasn't warm. It wasn't doing anything as far as I could tell. And I was like, oh, man. And so I took a chance and did a hard reset, because I didn't think I couldn't do anything else. And it just wouldn't boot anymore. So it got stuck in like trying to boot and not getting anywhere. So then I got in the recovery mode. And I had, the only way to fix it was to erase it and restore it with 26, which I did. Yeah. And that's actually the phone we're using right now for the camera. So it's working again, and it restored from an iCloud backup that I had from before I did the 27 upgrade. So I'll do another attempt, but these betas are betas. That's why, you don't want to run up on you don't want to overwrite your main operating system. You don't have to.
You should do it again, man. You should YOLO once more. This time it'll work.
But I should get on the beta. I do want to get on the beta for the new series stuff. Although that won't work at all on 14, right? So it doesn't have any Apple Intelligence support.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough RAM. So
yeah.
So it's like I'd have to buy an iPad or something for that.
An M1. Yeah, an iPad Pro. Yeah. You could check. I think the iPad prices.
Nothing's cheap, man. Our friend Mike, he bought an iPad Pro I think it was an M4 maybe.
Okay.
Like to replace his original iPad Pro. So he just got this, and we got it like used. It was like a refurbished thing. It was still expensive, and I couldn't even find.
Did it go to like the
M1s.
Micro Center or something like that?
No, I did it through Amazon. This kind, but I looked. I couldn't find even M1s. Like the older stuff was not as available as I thought it was. At least through the channels we were looking. I feel like everybody's bought up all the cheap stuff, all the cheap Apple Silicon because it's so extensive. Everything's so expensive now. That's what it feels like. It's all gone all of a sudden because there used to just be endless like super cheap one generation. You can still find like some M1 laptops, but I wasn't able to find the iPads. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, I know a cheaper iPad would be nice.
Now I think about it, I have like a One Pro, one of the early ones. So
I don't even know if does that do Apple Intelligence on the iPad Pro?
Yes, but not. Yeah, it does, but it's just it's not going to be able to do the newer one. I think that'll be, or at least it'll be a challenge to do the newer one. Like how like there's levels, right? So like I think there's like version 1 and then version 2, or like I think they label it differently, but like a low end and a middle tier, and then the private one is like the S tier or the high tier version, the reasoning model or whatever you want to call it. But yeah,
that one you should be able to use on anything because it's online, but whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean that's what it means. Like by default, it'll be the low one, and then if you have enough RAM, then you can switch to the better one that's local, and then if not, it'll go to the cloud. Like it'll figure itself out to do which one, but. Yeah.
But while we're on the subject of 27, though, I noticed that you can no longer opt out of liquid glass.
They did say that when they announced liquid glass, that you would have 1 year.
Did they say just 1 year? So it shouldn't have been a surprise.
Yeah.
It was still devastating to me because it looks hideous on the UIKit app that I haven't updated.
All right, UIKit.
Well, that's it. You also need to do the scene delegate stuff as well.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Right. Yeah. It's tough. Like, I think it's not that bad, but if you have a lot of, I know like over time, you had the freedom to like change your nav bar. Then you can get creative with your text views and your title views, and all that goes away, right? You kind of have to sort of live in this jelly pilled world that we have.
That could be a title.
Right, like you because like then you have to like tweak it to much more like the you can only do so much within that world, and then the nav bar disappears, but then there's like a gradient that you have to like conform to that's in place of this nav bar behind the jelly pills that you now have to use. So it's going to take you some time, and you being the developers out there listening to this,
But what's interesting to me is how fast Apple's forcing this, because I mean, there's stuff in this old app I'm thinking of that, I mean, it has had a deprecation warning for like a decade. But I think that Apple's pushing this because we have a foldable phone coming out later this year, and like I don't think anything's going to look right on this phone without having these updates. So I wouldn't even be surprised if they force the 27 SDK on us earlier than usual, because I don't know how long we have and we could still build with 26 without these new features. So I feel like there's a real clock now ticking to get this new version of this app out to replace it. So we'll see what happens with it, because it's pretty ugly with liquid glass buttons, I gotta say.
One thing I noticed with Siri AI, and when we're talking about the sizing, when you open up Siri AI, you kind of see it conforms to this size, right?
Right.
Now, if you look at this aspect, people online, people who are listening can't see this, but if you're using Siri AI, just open and expose, and whatever your third-party apps have with their app intents will expose themselves that way. But the space that it creates, like above your keyboard, is almost it's close. It feels like it's close to the dimensions of like 1/2 or like the dimensions of the foldable iPhone. In that context, it feels like it. I get the sense, like I've seen. If it was like half the dimension, or like it's almost like a 3x4 versus like an aspect ratio versus like or even like a smaller one.
If the fold was horizontal, you mean like if you had like a top and a bottom, like a DS, that's what it seems like.
Similar, yeah. Like, and assuming that it's folding, you're folding it from as if you're folding it like a book, right?
It is supposed to be like
each
kind of narrow, right?
I don't know if narrow. Well, yeah, thinner, I think, but also like much closer to like. But each half of this foldable
Each half,
is closer to like the aspect ratio of each half seems to be closer to like, like maybe like a 3x4 or even less of like a
right.
more closer to a square than necessarily like a 16:9 or 16:10 aspect ratio. So it's got me wondering on a lot of ways of like, going back to your point about some of the other stuff that they're requiring you to add, which is some scene delegates, right? Or
scene delegates.
Getting that to work because you're thinking about having multiple windows potentially of the same, or multiple instance of the same app in sort of two different instances, right?
Yeah.
What that means ultimately as an app is going to be interesting because now you're building for potentially two instances of an app. Like, I'm trying to think of like a scenario, like maybe you have like one version of like.
That was the thing on iPads. iPad apps would sometimes do that, right? With the multiple screens.
Well, this is a horrible version, but like I know, like if you put the YouTube on horizontal mode, one half of that now, like you can open up like the AI chat, and one half of the screen is the video playback, right? And I think that's on the left. It's on the left, and the other half is your chat. You can chat with AI for silly reasons.
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know.
Because everybody's going to be using AI. AI is the future. Chat is the future. Okay. How dare you? Okay. You want to die being poor? All right. We're going to get rich doing chat, even though I'm not making any money.
I'm never going to be able to fix that audio, man. I apologize, everybody.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, you got a little too close to the mic. That was like
you got a little too heated there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me go back for a second. Let me redo this.
But yeah, I know you're gonna. The reason why you got to use the AI, Aaron, is because otherwise you'll become part of the permanent underclass. And I know this is true because I've seen it on the internet, and the internet's always right.
I feel like I'm getting poor already. And
when you're watching your YouTube videos,
even then, mostly then, because you got to multitask. Because you got to be doing multiple things at once with the AI.
Look, I need to see because I didn't pay how much does it cost for a YouTube Premium? Is it $20 now? Probably 25.
It's kind of a lot per year. It's triple digits per year. I pay for it.
Right, and it's worth it. But like,
it's totally worth it. Not have the endless number of ads in your face.
But for the underclass like myself,
yeah, you're practicing for your permanent underclass.
Yeah, right. So I have to see 2 to 3 ads, right?
Yeah.
So now I get to see the ads on one half of my screen, and then I can chat with AI to purchase that said product in said ad.
I don't even know what this feature is. It's not the transcript. It's like there's like a chat in YouTube now.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, but getting back to the point, right? Like now imagine if we have a permanent instance of scene on one half where you can just keep on chatting, and maybe that could be like a Gemini agent thing or whatever. And
the right hand side. The one side of your foldable iPhone is just going to be
the left hand side is talking to the right hand side. The right hand side.
I wonder.
And then you fold it, and then I think there's another screen on the other side, right?
They're not going to.
Who's going to be able to afford one of these foldable phones?
It's going to cost as much as a MacBook. Who knows?
Well, it's going to cost as much as a Vision Pro.
It's going to cost as much as a Vision Pro. I hope not. Oh God.
Oh my goodness, wouldn't that be hilarious? But you know who? Probably the AI bros, right? Like, because they're the only ones that's going to have, like, they're the rich ones, right? Burning.
I mean, that's what they claim. I mean, they do have like multiple $200 max plans apparently.
Yes. So
I don't know.
And then you're going to buy another one next year.
Yeah, every year you got to buy one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be economic about it and be a poor person like me, you would do it. You would do it. Dude. In installments. So now, as opposed to paying, your utility bill, you pay in installments $100 to $200 a month.
Who
needs air conditioning?
Who needs electricity?
Who needs Netflix? Who needs?
Just eat out at a restaurant. I don't need a fridge.
In fact, you can eat out of a garbage can. You should go behind the restaurant and eat out of the garbage bin.
What is this terrible life advice?
We are not a financial advisor.
Yeah, we're not advising you to do anything.
Yeah.
But the foldable does seem like it's coming, and like Apple's going to be pushing it pretty hard. And they're never going to do this. It'd be kind of cool if you could have multiple desktops kind of thing with it? Because I just thought while you were describing this, maybe you would want like a permanent chat thing on the side there if it actually worked. Because then you can just talk to it. But you know what? Probably is not what's going to happen because that sounds dumb now that I think about it.
Because now I've given this horrible idea in the universe.
Yeah.
And so now every app will have a chat.
I mean, we got to put a chat in BentoFit for some reason. It should just be there. And then if you talk to it,
it should give you advice, and it should create its own bento UIs based on the advice
But that's useful. I'm thinking, what's the most useless way of doing this? Which would be like it's just a sycophantic repeater. Everything. Yeah, actually, we'll just create our own Eliza bot built in with the local LLM, and all it does is do like the Eliza thing where it just like repeats back to you what you say in a questioning way, like a you know. So
I mean, you could do something where it's a life affirming advice, not advice, but like
life affirming.
So
what are we gonna do? Life unaffirming?
It's just gonna be like, you're great, and then you're great.
You're great if you lose 50 pounds. It'd be like carrot.
Oh, okay. So you want to do a carrot style thing?
Carrot style.
I was thinking, you could just have two instances of the same chat, just chatting with each other, just giving like reinforcement.
Actually, we're way off topic if we had one. But you remember the original okay, I'm going to say the word Siri came out. God, everything's going off in my room. I tried to be quiet too. Well, when the original version of the Dingus came out, people did that. I remember there was like a video where there was a
right.
There's a famous viral video went around where he was he had like the Dinguses like talking to each other, singing or something. So yeah, I bet you could do that.
Well, you could do something where, like, maybe, for example, you have one instance of your thing with a camera view, taking a picture, and then the other instance actually processing the image as you took it. And then, I don't know, maybe you're going to run it through some, AI chat thing to create OCR data or, descriptors or whatever. And maybe, I don't know.
You know what's funny?
I'm
it's like
spitballing at this point.
You don't even need a foldable phone to do these things. The phones have gotten so big. Even the regular iPhone is big enough to have a split screen for at least some kinds of features. But Apple just doesn't let you do it, right?
Right.
Like you could,
right?
Like not the way we're thinking of doing it, like as a separate like window or whatever, right?
Right. You can only have
iPads.
one...
You can, but not on iPhones.
You can only show.
But a regular phone
is
not easy enough to break in half.
Yeah. Oh my God! The very first thing a bunch of YouTubers are going to do is they're going to take this phone and they're going to see how easy it is to break in half on the seam.
Oh my goodness!
They're going to take like a $2,000 phone and they're just going to like put it in a blender. They're going to like drop it off a roof. They're going to like bend it with clamps or something. That's going to be horrible.
Well, that's such a waste. I don't get it.
I hate when they do that. Also, how do they not accidentally set the batteries off and like into a fire?
Look, just give it to a kid that need or something. Don't.
No, man, you gotta make the content. You gotta feed the content.
Gotta get those views.
Gotta get those views, man. Gotta have something in between the 16 commercials.
I mean, make it a challenge. Have the kid be like, okay, kid, hold on to this iPhone as hard as you can. I'm gonna bungee jump you. I'm gonna put you on a bungee
jump you, child. Throw you off the bridge.
Throw you off the bridge. You can hold on to it. It's yours. Something like that. I mean, that will get the views.
Wait. Your idea is to take a child, give him an iPhone, a foldable iPhone, throw him off a bridge with a bungee cord, say, if you can hold on to this, it's yours.
Good luck with that kid.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, there's a lot of problems before we get to the logistics.
What's wrong with it? I think it's genius. I mean you definitely want to.
Child, I guess.
I didn't say the age. Could be a teenager.
Like an adult. Has to be an adult or with parental permission. Can you even get parental permission? Like, I want to throw your child off a bridge. Give me permission. Don't worry, I'll have a rubber band attached to it.
I don't know if you've seen the Wissahickon Bridge, but there are some children jumping off that bridge.
Well,
that's a pretty 5-story bridge.
Adventurous families. I will never do a bungee jump, I think. Seems to me like an insanely stupid thing to do. Just like jumping out of a plane, but like somehow it feels worse.
I was about to say, that's even better. Give a kid.
Hold on to it all the way down.
give a kid. Don't train the kid. Just be like, okay, you got to figure out not only holding on the iPhone, recording on the iPhone. You have to figure out when it's time to parachute.
No.
You're not getting assisted, all right? You're not getting assisted.
Unfortunately, you can't do that because no reputable, no company will take you up that way. You have to go tandem, I'm guessing, if you have no idea what you're doing. You can't just go up there and jump out of a plane.
Yes.
Like, I guess you could rent your own private plane, do whatever you want, and be crazy, but then you'd probably break the law or something.
Just get a billionaire. I mean, how many of these kids are, how many YouTubers are these millionaires? They have their own private plane.
I don't know. Maybe.
Could you imagine doing that off a private plane?
We still got, we still got like 10 minutes. Maybe we should talk about some programming related topic. That would be
how do we get on this?
We can talk about, we're already off topic beyond, which is the insanity. But, okay, one thing as a final thing, I've been thinking about it and wondering, at least our next, because this is Side Project Spotlight, and the whole point of this podcast, if you can believe that, is that it was an accountability podcast for which we wanted to build things, we wanted to make things, part of the whole point about, and sort of this would sort of force us to come up with something either together or by ourselves, whatever, but like to build small projects and see where they go, right? So the BentoFit app was one, Kanji Love was another. Kanji Love is a watch app, get on the App Store. Same with BentoFit app, BentoFit.app. You can download it there. So now that WWDC is done and over with, there is potential to build a new app of some kind. And since we're more of an iOS focused kind of group, the idea is, what is in the WWDC bag of tricks that is interesting to us that we might be willing to build something new with? So for me, I'm always going to lean on some kind of game. So one of the things that I would consider even revisiting is redoing Retro Sparkle, which was an old game I made. It was probably the first, I don't know if this is the first app, but certainly the first game I've ever made, which is, which is a match 3 game, but you only have 3 seconds to make a decision. So if you can't make a decision, game over. I don't even have a pause button for that game because the intention was the joke was to get off, it was just there for you to have a little bit of fun while you're in the bathroom or the toilet. And then when you're done, you get the high score that you get. So that was one idea. The other idea was, and this was for my own personal projects, trying to figure out what do I want to revisit any of those? Like my other one was Fave 10, which is like a top 10 app that I've left in limbo since like Swift, I don't know, 2.4 days or something. It was like pre-Swift data days. Like I have not even updated it to that app. Even though it was a Swift UI app and probably one of the earliest ones that I out there, it's not given a decent modern treatment that it deserved. So that was another opportunity to be like, maybe I could vibe code this up using, being a, learning how to be an AI bro and doing bro things like, I don't know, breaking my jaw.
I think that's something you're born with.
Oh wait, that's a different bro thing. Just let the vibes go and just rebuild this from scratch.
Yeah,
update my app. You can make me an iPad version, make me a Vision Pro version.
Well, you do have Vision Pro access, so
yeah. Well, company does, but anyway, that was sort of where I was at the moment. Where I'm at the moment. I don't know. What are you guys thinking? In terms of like ideas, or do you have any ideas?
I don't know. What's the ideal app for your foldable phone that nobody can afford?
Including us.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to test this, and from judging from like our experience with the new Device Hub,
I know.
iPhone simulator thing, it's going to be a while.
I got it, guys. I got it. Pong.
Okay, you got it.
Or like some kind of Pong like game.
Holy crap!
Where you can just multiplayer on each side of the screen.
I know you're joking, but that's kind of a genius idea. I mean, a genius in the sense of like a fart app idea.
I mean, look, it's already on iPads, that kind of thing, and like the Switch. I mean, it's not like a new idea to have multiplayer thing on the screen, but
I mean, we have Puck Striker.
Yeah,
which is that Airtable game, right? It would be like Puck Striker, but like
you could do something that is like bringing back the old DS games where you have like the top and the bottom doing different things. I mean, obviously, but it still doesn't really take advantage of the fact that it's not bad at all. It's not like you could do this on your phone now.
I'm gonna ask a very dumb question. How many screens are on this rumored foldable phone? Is it just the foldable screen?
3. It has to be 3.
It's 3, right? So there's like when you fold it,
fold together, and there has to be something outside.
And then right, it
has to be
like,
right.
No, all of these giant foldables is like one giant screen that folds in half with another half of a screen on the outside.
So at least two screens, right?
Two screens, but
one and a half screens.
Yeah, it's like, but with weird aspect ratios.
Okay, so that is interesting, right? The idea is to figure out how we can get the two screens, which is hilarious because like, so here's the thing. This is not a very good usability idea because you have to, in order for this game mechanic to work or whatever we're terming this as, right? You have to have two instances running at the same time, at least.
Like, what's the weirdest thing you can do where the UI is like bouncing back and forth between the inside and the outside when you open it?
That's what I'm saying. Something like that, yeah. That'd be cool.
Well, how would...
How about a game of Snake that just fills up one half of the screen up to the fold?
Okay.
It goes to like the other thing and then you have to open it.
Yeah. Okay.
It goes to the edge.
There you go. The game starts on the first screen and then it fills up. Whatever you're doing fills up and you have to open it up and you have more space. And all like a Tetris game, and then you open it up and all the Tetris things just fall on the bigger screen into the bottom and you start over with like this big new expanse, or like Snake. Where
that would actually be...
Yeah, something like that.
That would actually be kind of hilarious, right? Or even if we just did something like Bubble Bobble or some various like
that's what I mean.
Balls that are like filling up, and then so you open
and then you close the thing, and then you instantly lose.
Yeah.
Or like then the screen like your other screen says
compress everything onto the screen. Yeah. And then here's one. You start big. And then you somehow have to like create or collect asteroids or collect matter or something. And then when you close it, it all gets jammed together. If you have enough matter, you create a big bang. And then you get a little...
your phone explodes.
Yes. You get a little galaxy or something in the middle.
Then it'll automatically brick your phone. Is that?
Yeah. You close it. And the front screen does like a big bang effect because you have enough matter, get enough stuff collected.
And you max out on your haptics, like the biggest
out on the haptics.
It just for days. It just that's all it does.
So these are great ideas. Although I am actually I'm in the process of doing BentoFit updates. So I already did like a basic theme manager. And making some themes. That was one of the things on the list, and I'm going to go do more LLM stuff and things now. But
actually, one of the things for them to actually encourage that idea, right? The sort of two apps instance at the same time, right? They have to be like that. Has to be a selling point in some ways for the foldable phone. So they have to sort of almost introduce some kind of new mechanic where like. They have to make it easy for you to like switch to go into split screen.
The obvious thing, yeah, that's right. The obvious way that it works is you could just kind of like resize it.
Right. So like in the window mode, right? Not like the way the original iPad did it, where like they just you kind of had to like almost like break. I forgot. It's been so long. I forgot exactly how that worked.
I don't know if they're going to add buttons though to do it, but maybe. Or maybe you could add a button to your UI. I don't know. But once you're in the larger screen, it could just be automatic, like it goes full screen. I don't know. But and just changes its layout. But I think the examples are going to be apps where you are doing something and there's like more control surface on one side or one half versus the other side. So
because I originally thought maybe the idea is like the expanded version, like the unfolded version view would be like iPad OS. And the folded version would be an iPhone OS. That's how they can kind of like create that separation. And then you can kind of easily do that sort of like it would make more sense when you could do that kind of.
But then they'd be combining iPad and iOS, and they said they wouldn't do that, even though they are the same thing almost anyway.
Yeah, agreed. Right. So like, but then they have to come up with this whole. They would have to either figure out or reintroduce a whole different mechanic, right? Whether the simplest
thing is that your app works like a normal compact size. When it's on the front screen and when you open it, it just goes to the expanded size.
Right.
And you don't have any choice in the matter. That's probably what it's going to be, honestly. It's going to be you're big or you're small. You don't get to choose anything.
Or you're wide.
You're wide or you're narrow. You're skinny or you're fat, whatever.
Yeah, I haven't really checked the rumors lately, so I just assume like the aspect ratio of this would be
if
like
you turn the phone so you change when it's open, I guess the whole thing has to rotate and change again. So that's, I think, what they're going to do. I don't think Apple's going to introduce buttons and controls that make it more complicated on an iPhone, at least not for this version, but we will see soon. you know. But I am actually doing BentoFit updates, and you have in the notes here, photography. I would love to talk about maybe a photography project maybe next time. I have no idea what that would be, but it's a lot easier to build that stuff now with LLMs because there's the APIs for setting up for the photos and stuff can be weird. So, I mean, it's nice. You can probably do all that boilerplate with LLMs now. So maybe we could do some kind of app that includes doing photos or dealing with photos. I mean,
that was one of the things I was wondering, like, as an opportunity, because we did we just talk about it in this one, or about like having a camera as one instance, and then the like a camera view in one instance, and then like some kind of processing, or like even like a grid of
mean, an obvious thing is like the photo booth app, where you have like the camera, and then you have all the different filters on the other side. So you frame your subject on the one side, the camera view, and then you can just have like the filters on the other side, and you can pick the ones you want.
Or it might be kind of cool as you go to a grocery store and you're just trying to like get your groceries, and then as you have your list right on one side, and then you're like, okay, I did this, this is I got me some broccoli. It'll go and says, oh, that's a broccoli. You tap on the image and it's like, this is what I've got, and then it was like, oh, that's a broccoli. And then it crosses off the broccoli off your grocery list.
You could recognize it, but when you put it in your cart.
Free advice there, Arpit, for your grocery timer app.
Yeah, man. Yeah, actually could work. That way you could.
If you're listening to this, I'm talking to you, Arpit.
Or you could just have it like scan the grocery aisle and like detect things. But also a simple thing, if you just put it in front of it, have the camera check it off from your list.
Right.
Automatically.
Right.
Like that could work. So there are ideas that are ludicrous and sound anywhere
I don't know
between.
If there's any of these count as good ideas, but
they don't have to be good ideas for a side project. As I said, like a lot of the stuff I've been doing is just excuses to play around with things like GLM 5.2 and try to get like things updated. Like doing updates on BentoFit is just a useful side project for me.
That's interesting.
Will any of these apps make more than their token cost?
So far, no. We made $3 and whatever change, and we need to make some more money this year because we're running out of time. By the way, it takes Apple so long to like give us money, so we better get our update in.
Yes, and there is a ship-a-ton competition happening. It's coming up soon, so
it's happening. Yeah, I saw it.
But yeah, we can review that idea at a later time. That's all we have for today. You can learn more about Philly Cocoa at phillycocoa.org. There you'll find links to our Slack group, meetup schedule, and contact info. If you're feeling generous, please leave a review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or whatever your podcast platform of choice is, and share us with all your developer friends. And so, let me see. For this new thing, Steve, I just want to let you know, Linux versus Windows is no-win situation.
We're back to the dad jokes.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, one more, and then we head out of here. But I just want to let you know, Steve, that I am a straight shooter. I call a spade, and I remotely control systems in clear text. I tell it like it is.
Oh my God. No security in your world either.
But till next time, good luck on your own developer journey. We will cheer for you always. You have to sort of live in this jelly-pilled world